out to be completely unreliable assholes.
Hi, Tim.
Well, hi, Ryan. How are you? What a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. Be here with you on this wonderful, beautiful day. I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be more happy to be here to talk about a movie that sucked.
Me too, Tim. Believe it or not, he goes for a drink from his Spider-Man mug.
Ugh.
Okay, well that started off sarcastic, but then was kind of one of those twists, much as a twist in Lyle 2014, the film that we've watched. No, I'm kidding. There wasn't much of a twist or anything.
There really wasn't.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's right. This is Ryan. That's Tim. We watched Lyle 2014 on our show. You are listening to Hello Everyone, Dismembering Horror, episode 89 of Dismembering Horror. It's the podcast show where, as I said, myself, Ryan, and that good-looking chum there, what's his name?
Tim.
All right. Timothy and I, we talk about what worked for us, what did not work for us, and anything we found interesting or noteworthy about a horror film.
That's it.
Yeah, man. I don't know why. I just thought of when that time. Do you remember that time, Tim? All these memories we have together. Do you remember that time that we watched Goosebumps?
Yeah.
That was fun.
I do. I remember watching a movie that wasn't horrible.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And maybe now I'm just nostalgic for the days when we met up in person to watch and record.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good without seeing people forever again.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're seeing each other on our little phones or laptops right now.
That's true. Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I don't know if I want to speak in extremes like you do, but I've been pretty happy feeling like I am not obligated to go places.
Yeah.
Because I'm invited.
Exactly.
It's great. Of course, nothing. I mean, and I say that nothing's worth the trade-off here, but I don't know. It's certainly shaken things up a bit.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I like, human, interaction. But I also really like being alone.
Yeah. And you're newly have an apartment to yourself, too.
That's right.
So you're especially going through that.
Yep.
Roommateless.
Just laying around.
Watching films like Lyle, a horror film
Let's not
a
get
week.
crazy. Listen. Watching a movie called Lyle.
You were
I don't even want to grace it with the term film.
Right.
It implies quality.
You haven't been just sitting there watching Lyle over and over again.
Oh my God. In a way, quarantine can kind of feel like that at times.
Yeah. But then you got to put on something reliable.
Yeah.
And then it's all good again. It's all gravy. Well,
Right.
Well, anyways, yeah, you guessed it. We've told it. It's Dismembering Horror. Tim and Ryan, we watched Lyle. What do we do next? In order to get into Lyle here, we're going to watch the trailer for it. Are you ready to watch the trailer for it, Tim?
I am.
All right. Again, here it is. Why is this saying this word name? It's so funny to me right now. All right, here we go. Lyle.
Are you sure we can afford this? This could be a baby room if we get rid of that wallpaper.
That room has never been a nursery before. Just what this place needs.
Dr. Faye said that she was wrong. It's not a boy, it's another little girl. She's like a Victorian father, just obsessed with that firstborn son.
You know, sacrificing your first son deals with the devil.
Another kid died in this building.
So that's one of your theories? That the building is cursed?
I think you can grieve any way you want.
How well do you know Karen? It's the landlady. I think she's pretending to be pregnant.
What's funny is I don't necessarily disagree with these pull quotes. So they're very tricky about this, Tim. Say, Hollywood Reporter says, an accomplished debut. That's all the quote says. And I'd say, yeah, they made a film. They accomplished something, you know? Like,
Yeah,
they made the film. There's like some cool shots in it, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
It works from beginning to end as a, like, I don't know.
It doesn't completely fall apart.
Yeah. And then
Good job.
And then Cinesnatch, okay, says
Wow.
Stewart, this is, in the trailer we just watched, just the only quote, Stewart Thorndike has reimagined Rosemary's Baby for the 21st century. Yeah, that's exactly
That's true.
That's not a good thing, though.
And
when
it doesn't qualify whether or not the reimagining was any good.
Right. It's not necessarily a good or bad thing.
It's just a statement of fact.
Right. But like, I would say that in the context of what we'll get into. Let's see. I mean, yeah, we are going into what we thought of it now, what we reviewed of it, how we'd review it per our rating. I mean, I'd put this, say this is a reimagining of Rosemary's Baby for the 21st century. You could say that, like, yeah, it's a bad thing or a good thing. And in this case, not a good thing.
Right. But I mean, a more accurate way of saying it would be it's an attempted reimagining because it's the hackneyed bad attempt.
Well, I'd say it's more like it's a literal reimagining. It's just
Sure,
like they
yeah.
just did it. Like at no point.
That's right.
Like when people, I think, okay, so I found I'm sure I was the one who added it, and I stumbled across this article, in doing our follow-up research, which is I'm sure the same article that made me add it to the list, but it was from sci-fi.com, SYFY, their section Deep Cuts, where they come in with our series dedicated to bringing the hidden gems of horror out of the vault and into your nightmares. Today, we're examining a tension-filled film about parental loss, Lyle. Anyway, that's where this came from, if you were wondering. As I was.
Cool.
Okay, Tim, what would you tell yourself per our rating system to avoid it, stream it, rent it, or buy it?
You can just stream it. It's fine. It's not, like, unwatchable. Gaby Hoffman's fine. Like, she's good. I mean, she's the only thing that in there to me that's, like, giving it something.
I agree. She is, like, the only thing that is giving it something. But that's not enough for me to say I can actually say stream it over Tourist Trap. Like I have to say,
wait,
like,
did we say it to avoid Tourist Trap?
No,
Oh.
we said stream it to Tourist Trap, which I'm saying like that's a stream it for me. This okay, I got to give this an avoid it. I'd tell myself to avoid it. But not like the actively, like some of the other ones that we've given avoid it to, like Maggie or whatever, where I'm like, just like run for the hills, like just stay away. If even if it has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, to stay away. This is more like I tell myself to avoid it. Like you can skip this one, Ryan. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't, and it didn't make me like mad watching it. Like I didn't hate the people who made it. Like when I was watching it,
I was frustrated with, I guess in a way, I think kind of what you're saying. I think it's like you're saying avoid it because it's like you could make better use of your time.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm mad at the filmmakers for like doing a thing that like that's the result. It's like you should fucking know better, shouldn't you? Like, in my mind, it's like, how do you not know that you're just doing a rehash poorly?
This is weird. I mean, this is just always that uncomfortable territory I don't like getting into. But for
right?
for whatever reason, I didn't feel like I actually like disliked the people making it. I felt like they were trying in a way that I still like kind of almost related to or found commendable. And it doesn't change the fact they entirely missed the mark, but it wasn't like the fourth skeleton. No, not skeleton key. Whatever, the
last key.
The last key. The Insidious 4 or whatever.
That was upsetting.
Where I'm just like, I don't know. It's
like,
a different.
You feel like you guys are assholes.
Yeah,
I don't feel like they're assholes. I just feel like I'm like, at the end of the day, I just walked out of it being like, why is this an hour long? That was my feeling. It's like, it so quintessentially speaks to we didn't know what to do. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like we didn't go far enough to flesh out the story to make it a feature film. And we weren't, able to be concise enough to make it a short film. And so we just middle grounded it and ended up with a 60-minute movie. It's like, what? Why? It feels like they gave up in a weird way. And that could be totally circumstantial, right? Maybe they were trying to make a 90-minute movie and they had more that they wanted to do, and then just life circumstance constraints came in and forced them to make what we got.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. I don't know. Like, that's the film industry sometimes. But, like, then cut the 60 minutes down.
Right.
Like, cut it down into a short and call it a fucking day. Like, a really intense short.
Yeah, this could have been an awesome half-hour short, probably.
Yep. So, I don't get it.
I don't know, actually, if it would be an awesome half-hour. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know, this is what we'll figure out exactly at what point was the mark missed. Because I feel like what you're saying, it's true when you're watching it, it feels like, okay, it's not whatever to be a feature, not whatever to be a short. But at the same time, I feel like they did a good job of following the ethos of make it as long as it's supposed to be, but like only at a certain point where they were too far gone in making whatever they were making. Like, I feel like they missed the mark somewhere early on. And then this is the movie that is correct to wherever they are coming from and attempting it.
Well, I mean, we can dive in a little bit further later, but like, in my opinion, this movie basically is the first 2 acts of a feature film. Yeah. There's no third act.
Right. Well, I want to get into, let's keep it going because I'm excited to talk to how I reacted to the ending as is.
Yeah.
But, okay, the summary.
That's where we are.
It's literally Lesbian Rosemary's Baby. That's it. It's like I heard it pitched as that to me. Lesbian Rosemary's Baby.
If that's your starting point, that's your pitch, that's unacceptable.
Well, I'm like, but here's the thing. Like, I hear that and I go, okay, cool. Like, that's a fun way to mix it up a little, is like play with kind of gender, sex dynamics in a way. I don't know, or just like update it for modern times a little more, but then just do something. Don't just literally just beat for beat kind of story beat do Rosemary's Baby,
right?
Which is what they did.
I don't know. I would push back a little bit to be like, just adding a gender swap to a thing is not. It's not a compelling like device to like sell a story. No,
we agree. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
I feel like that's actually kind of, it's cheap. It's really cheap in a way to be like, hey, look how inventive we are. Lesbian Rosemary Baby.
Well,
Rosemary's Baby. Like, see that just makes me fucking want to go, no, bye. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying. I just wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. If someone told me they were doing that, then they would, of course, mean they aren't literally just doing that.
Right. It's that you would hope. But
no, but that's all they literally just did. It takes place in New York, also.
But it's Brooklyn, so it's, millennials.
Okay, I look forward to having your New York frame of reference, someone who's lived there.
Oh, yeah. I feel bad because, like, I don't have anything good to say about the movie. But, so the summary is, okay, the summary is, here we go. Ready? A lesbian couple moves into an apartment that they seemingly can't afford, but one of the women has found some success or is approaching success in her music industry career.
June in the John Cassavetes role.
Exactly. The other woman is pregnant.
Leah in the Mia Farrow role.
Right. They also have a toddler named Lyle, titular, who is a girl. They've named their daughter Lyle. Okay? That was a little confusing.
Which the writer-director, her name is Stewart. So that was a little confusing
there you go.
Too. Yeah.
So they move in. The John Cassavetes character
June
is mad that the baby to be is a daughter. We don't know why. They have a landlord, or I guess building manager, who is a weirdo.
Karen?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay.
And then, there's weird tension between the couple. Right? And then Lyle, the baby, falls out of a window and dies.
Yeah.
The end. No. And then...
That feels like... Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then...
Sorry, I wanted to get into critiquing it.
No, don't.
Yeah.
And then... Wait, what's her name? Leah or Leah?
Leah.
Let's call her Leah. I forget. So Leah then just sort of has, what you would expect, a bit of a spiral of grief. And that's cool and reasonable. And
that's,
her wife is kind of a dick about it.
All her grief
Borderline.
is compounded by June's gaslighting, basically, like Rosemary's Baby style.
Right.
Like, oh no, this is, you're just thinking this. Da-da-da.
Yeah. And then... she gets kind of freaked and paranoid and spirals a bit and then spirals a bit more and then, looks on the internet. Spirals a bit more. And then... and it's like... You sort of... It's just like...
Well, then we get a couple, loose, clues where it's like, okay, this building had more than one baby death. You have... The neighbor model woman who's has lived there her whole life. She finds out that's kind of being a fake friend to her. You have
they do a ring sort of style thing where certain people's faces are smudged in pictures.
And then as a reaction to that, then Leah freaks the F out. She's way more than Mia Farrow. She's Total meltdown from, I don't know, what I just thought wasn't based on, I just wasn't with her. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, well, it felt, yeah, exactly. I think it feels a little bit like we are supposed to question the legitimacy of Leah's flip out.
Yeah. But without any of the fun of I don't know. I'm just keep comparing it to Rosemary's Baby.
That's my point.
It's so easy to do.
We're separated from it. So but that's the movie, and then we find out that without any fanfare whatsoever, we find out that it is just a satanic plot to kill the two daughters. Two daughters equate to the sacrificing of the firstborn son in satanic whatever, so that you can have success and money.
Yep.
Cool. And so so Leah kills her wife.
Yeah.
In the birthing pool.
Yes, which is the inflatable kiddie pool in their apartment.
The end.
Yeah. And okay, Tim, that's what happened in the film.
That's the movie.
Should we move on to our first section and talk about what worked for us?
Yes.
All right. What worked?
What worked? What worked for you? What worked for you?
It worked like a charm. Smith.
What worked? What worked for you?
Want to hear what I had, Tim?
Sure.
Okay. I liked when the scene where the baby actually died, where it's like an off-screen, I guess we learn it falls out a window. It's during a video call with Leah with her friend. I liked that, and then it leading into this like weird video of an ultrasound, like, or you know, like images or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
I was like, why are we doing inside again?
Well, here we go. As far as it's stupid, but at the same time, as far as if you're updating Rosemary's Baby to the 21st century, as that one pull quote said, like I don't know, showing something that's like found footage video chat into weird like other digital footage. I was just like, cool. These two shots isolated, I guess, worked for me on some level.
Sure.
Okay. And I guess as far as actually what worked, there were like some interesting shots throughout it. Like, you know, they were putting thought into some things. This is why I say too, I wasn't totally mad at, I felt like I kind of on some level sympathized with the kind of like, you know, getting your bearings indie filmmaking spirit behind it.
Right.
So some interesting shots in it, thought out shots. And then I guess lastly, it was like what worked. Ended when I want this is such an old backhanded compliment, but it ended right when I wanted to. Like, you know, these other movies we've watched that I hated when it's like, okay, I just wanted them all to die, so then it would just be over, and then it just kept going another half hour. This one, I like, to myself jokingly, I was like, ugh, like when they both went down into the tub together, I'm like, please just let them both be dead and let it be over. And I'm like, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. I'm like, this does not feel like it's been a full movie yet. We still have some stupid final act to get into. And then it ended, and I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was free. And then
the shot of her coming out of the pool is a pretty cool shot.
Sure. And then I think things that I kind of maybe liked but didn't work for me as I think intended. The sheer audacity of the website she visited, or just the sheer audacity of that scene where it's like you have a pregnant woman who just like lost her other baby in like a horrible way, goes onto a website that's like, and it has a little silhouetted cartoon animated baby like falling down out of
into
a window.
Pieces.
Yeah,
it,
and
like,
you have
breaks into pieces. It's
So just the sheer audacity of having like someone who's, you know, in this world gone through this situation, having to see that, I'm just like, holy crap, like what movie? Jesus Christ. Like it's so much. I just had to laugh.
It's quite a suspension of disbelief that website would even exist.
Yeah, right. And then to see it, you know, being reacted to, just like, it's like not a laughing matter, which is I think why I had to laugh. Like, yeah, as weird as that sounds. And then lastly, I enjoyed during her big party freak out, which like the rest of everything just seemed way over the top for what she had been through. I don't know. I just wasn't with her again. But anyway, during this party freak out, I really enjoyed, since it was just kind of like one big wide shot, I just got a kick out of watching the extras react. Just like all I was thinking about is like, they're their friends coming over to play this huge flip out scene. And then just that combination of like, what would people at a party actually do? And then also what would these extras who are these random people do? What do they think people would do? I don't know. I just got a kick out of just watching them like kind of like look at her and take a step away and like, you know, what do they do with their drink they're holding? That's what a stretch, but
yeah. I mean, if you've been reduced to really picking apart what the extras are doing, Like, that's what you have to look at?
Yeah.
Woo! Look, I mean, I think there are kind of some moments and there's some interesting filmmaking techniques that exist in this movie. Like that shot, I think, is a really cool shot of her kind of emerging from the birthing pool. It's lit well, it's framed well, it's interesting looking, it's, you know, it's effective in its sort of like coolness. There's also, anytime they showed singles of Lyle, the baby, doing things, they went to a sort of a wide handheld, which gave it this sort of eerie feeling, like you're kind of like on unsturdy ground, and you're, you know, felt a bit not documentary, but it felt a little, I don't know what exactly to compare it to. I was trying to think when I was watching it, like, what is that? Where have you seen that style before? But
like just lo-fi.
Yeah, it's lo-fi. Yeah, that's it. It's sort of almost music video, lo-fi, sort of handheld, like in the room with you. Feels, you know, unfortunately, when you start thinking about it, it feels like somebody's trying to be an indie, which is a little like, well, don't try to be an indie, just be an indie. But I thought that was a cool choice to isolate the shots of the baby and have them have a unique style. Because it does make you go, ooh, what's the deal? So that's fine. There's like a shot when Leah's on the bed and she's kind of half in frame, and June gets in and is having kind of a like everything's gonna be okay moment, and June like rolls over onto Leah, and they're actually out of frame. All you can see is their shoulders and arms, and it's just weird. It's sort of like it makes you feel disconnected and like uncomfortable, and it's effective because that's what's happening in the movie. So that, you know, there you go, you did a thing. It was effective, I thought. Beyond that, I mean, I liked watching Gaby Hoffman flip out. Like, I enjoyed her. She's, you know, she's in it for sure. Like, she's very raw, and, you know, I enjoyed that emotionality. And
yeah, I think
I'm not saying it was connected necessarily. Like, it didn't feel connected appropriately at times. It felt a little like on the nose.
Well, I'll just mention, like, I didn't. Yeah, because I wouldn't put this necessarily what worked or didn't work or interesting, but why that didn't work. Like, I agree she was great in it, but I just, like, for example, like, I just felt bad, like, when it was the big shot of, like, her running down the street, because the movie was not adding up at all. And, like, when someone's giving a performance like that, I can't enjoy it when it's just the movie itself. It just makes me feel bad for them giving a good performance.
Right. But I think
misused.
Yeah, but I think that the performance in isolation was, there's talent there, and that, you know, she's giving it her full go.
Sure, definite.
So I commend
props.
her,
Yeah.
I guess, for that.
Yeah.
The only other things that I really liked, I guess, were, and I'm not even sure I could say it. Well, it worked. It worked in sort of tone. Like, it was a vibe that I thought I enjoyed. And it's so weird because it's only one thing, but anything to do with that little horse, the horse toy, I just thought there's something eerie about it, and it just kept working to me that, like, anytime it showed back up, it felt creepy and weird.
Actually, I meant to ask you in the summary, I kind of missed. What was the deal with those multiple toy horses? Like, so she has a toy, like the Lyle.
Oh, dude, I mean,
like, Lyle had a little toy horse, and then she kept finding more later. Like, what was that about?
Well, I'm not sure I have an answer, but the initial horse that Lyle has is just Lyle's toy, right? And then she is doing, I would assume, my assumption was they had packed, you know, they moved in, they unpacked, Lyle got its toy, her toy, she's playing with it. So that's sort of just like the connection to Lyle. Like, it's a, it's a what do you call that? It's a remembrance.
Mm-hmm.
And then once Lyle has died, she's unpacking again and she finds it. So my assumption was that they had just put it away and it had been put away sort of in the wrong place and she had discovered it when she shouldn't have. You know what I mean? It's like not something she wants to see. That was my first impression. But then it literally magically jumps from where she puts it away to inside the crib.
Okay.
And so at that point, before we know where the movie's going, I was like, ooh, creepy and cool, right? Because it's like something supernatural is happening, right? Or so we think.
Yeah. That was, okay. No, okay.
So that moment I got excited for, it never comes back around or pays off. And then she gets gifted in a baby shower gift that same toy. So here's what I think the significance is. So the movie is, the story of the movie is that you can make a deal with Satan to sacrifice either your firstborn son for success or your first 2 daughters.
Yeah.
So I think what it's saying is that somebody else who's in on the pact, some other Satanist, gifts for the baby showers to the people who are going to have Satan's babies that particular horse, that it's a special gift for Satan babies from a Satanist friend. That's my take on it. And since and maybe when it's a boy, they get a different gift. But since they knew it was a girl for both of the kids, the girls get this pink horse.
Horsies. Okay, great. Can we move on to...
As good as I can get. Of some thread of something. I don't know. That's it.
Great, then let's move on to finding out what did not work.
It's not ready yet.
Seems to work okay.
No, something important's missing.
What did not work?
I mean, the biggest disappointment, Tim, I think, for me was, well, a couple big things, of course. But just what's striking me now is I was just so mad it never got to cool supernatural stuff. Like
they kept teasing it at the beginning, like there was something there, and then there wasn't.
Well, right, like I'm like, okay, if this is just an exact beat for beat Rosemary's baby knockoff, at least I'm looking forward to seeing I don't know, the devil baby, seeing something, seeing like
somebody
a weird...
die.
Yeah, seeing seeing something, some black magic stuff. I don't know.
Sure.
Show me something, in that last 5 minutes or whatever, even if it's then. I'm like, you've set up this world.
I mean, I think in a way this movie is an attempt to get a little more meta and say, yes, we have admitted that the wife and her friends have made a deal with the devil, or think that they have. But I think that the movie is trying to potentially say, but not so fast. Maybe she's just gone crazy and it's all in her head.
Yeah.
And that, it's just murky as fuck, because if you're going to do that, you better fucking know which it is. You can't just leave it vague and whatever. And that's why I'm like, there's no third act. Like, if you wanted to, you could have a third act where, now I think you'd have to adjust a couple things, but you could have a third act after she kills her wife. That's like, the consequences. And she could be like, no. I swear to God, they just to my face admitted that they fucking killed my first kid and that they were going to kill my second kid. They told me that. And then everybody can be like, you're crazy.
Right. Because now she's on the run from all the Satan worshipers and the authorities. She has nowhere to go. It could be this final, all walls are closing in finale.
Right. But we don't get any of that. Now, I would almost argue that if you're going to go in that direction, you have the first half of the second act that leads to the death of June, the killing of June. That I think would be more suited for like the midpoint of the movie, and then the walls closing in is sort of your second half of the second act. All of the like, oh shit, I'm on the run stuff. And that would then culminate in a internal realization of, oh, I fucked up, or whatever. You come to Jesus moment for the character that leads into the third act, and everything is all twisted and fucked up or whatever. Like, if all throughout the end of the second act, when she's on the run, she comes to the conclusion, because she's been convinced, that actually she fucked up and was just crazy, and she killed, like, that, the realization of, oh my God, I killed my wife inappropriately would be her sort of low point, right? And then you move into the third act and Satan shows up. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Right. So
that'd be great structuring it.
You'd have something going on. You'd have, here's what's, I think what I'm getting at is what's really lacking in this movie is push-pull, right? You don't really ever have it. You have just straight on one direction the whole time. She's grieving. She's freaking. She finds out what she thinks is true to be true. It's just one.
Right. It's interesting because like that I'm trying to parse out when that works and when it doesn't. Because I always say that's the good thing about a horror movie. Let's say like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I always use as the example, where that's like a horror film, or why I love it so much is there is no fluctuate. It's just a straight diagonal line moving up and up and up towards insanity, or like House of a Thousand Corpses. I don't know. I feel like one way of tracking what a horror movie does is just that, but maybe this, because it's like a more of a mystery, like a character mystery, that's where it's all about questioning.
Well, the big
what's
difference
going
between
on.
what you're saying and this type of movie is that in those movies, you are not isolated to one person's single point of view. Right? You're getting more of a broader sort of like, this stuff is happening to these people, and you're not really, you're kind of connected to the situation. You're not connected to the individual. Now, you end up connected to one because it's the one that makes it the furthest, and that's fine. But this is so singularly point of view that if you're going to do that, if you're going to make this a movie about one person's point of view, that's the ride. You have to do stuff with that point of view. You have to have twists and turns and have them think one thing and then realize another, and then have, the rug pulled out from under them. In Texas Chainsaw, it's survival. That's what that movie is. Same with House of a Thousand Corpses. It's survival. It's a group of people being put up against an immovable primal force that is their, ultimately going to be their demise. Like, how do we fight against that? That's not what this movie is. A totally different monster. And so,
yeah,
when you are dealing with the psychology of a character, and that's our reference point for a movie, we have to live in that world and figure out what the fuck's going on. So it literally is we want to figure out with the main character what the fuck's going on. Whereas Texas Chainsaw, it's like, we just want to watch you try to survive. And so there's just a fundamental difference. And you can do different things based on those differences, right? Like, you can have weird trajectory with a primal survival movie. With this, you can have weird trajectory, but have it. Like, have it be weird and all over the place. This one is, it doesn't even give you that. It doesn't give you a left turn that makes you go, oh shit. Like the moment that she finds out that it's Satanists for real, the fucking Michael Shea, her friend, the one guy who seems like maybe he's a normal dude, he goes, oopsie, like cat's out of the bag. That's the reaction. It's like, that's how you decided to deal with this? Now, maybe they're trying to make some commentary on the, like, I don't know, lackadaisical, cynical nature of millennialism. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like, but it just felt, like, if that's true, it's ineffective because it just felt lame. It felt like a character being it felt like an actor being like, yeah, I don't know my lines, and are we still doing this? Because who really gives a shit? That's what it felt like. It's like, that's not compelling. Like, it makes me, the viewer, want to be like, okay, they don't even care. Why should I?
Is that the reason? Yeah, I think, is that the reason then why I just wasn't into, like, I just wasn't with her paranoia, like, at all.
Yeah,
like,
right. I think, yes, because the only person that makes us, I think, feel a little bit like, whoa, like, what is going on, is the downstairs neighbor, who happens to be the one, this may be the one thing that they kind of got right. The red herring of the downstairs neighbor being a crazy Satanist trying to kill the baby, and having the reality be that she's actually not involved at all. That's kind of like, okay, you did one thing, and you know, it's a misdirect. And I was okay with that because it
didn't matter to me when I was just like only thinking of how much better Ruth Gordon was. Like, I was just so bored by the neighbor anytime she was on screen.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. But like that downstairs neighbor is the only character that I go is kind of interesting because, like, you find out that she's kooky and she's had a fucked up life and she pretends to be pregnant sometimes, which is really weird to do. But she totally cops to it. And then she's the one who casually brings up, when first sons die, that's Satan stuff. Like, she plants the seed in the head. So, like, that's kind of okay. But, like, it just doesn't... It's such a lame attempt because ultimately then the misdirect is actually it's the upstairs neighbor, the hot model who's the Satanist. She's been in on it the whole time. And, like, that whole... oh, we just pulled the rug out from under you, doesn't work because it's just like there was no lead up to it. It was all just kind of like whatever. You don't even meet that person until like halfway through, if not a little further than halfway through the movie. Like, meet her early on. Like, have that be a source of tension. Something.
Well, yeah, like if you said that supports your point if you make the ending the midpoint and then just condense it all. Well, that would work a lot better. Yeah. Like, do you just cut out all this I don't know, this blah
right.
That's.
I mean, there's just so
movie.
many. To me, every plot point of the movie just falls flat. Like the idea that like that she goes, it's just so lame. Like going online and being like, oh, look what I discovered. I just find it to be. That's how we're getting information. It just feels super lame. Like, discover something in the wall. That's so much cooler. Right? Like, right. Make it cool.
Well, she does as she finds the baby, the old baby
sure,
wallpaper.
But let's go further. Like, let's go down. Let's keep going down that kind of pathway. It's so lame.
Right. Well, that's a big thing. Like, Rosemary's Baby, you have the apartment as a character.
Totally.
Here,
you've got the basement where they do laundry. It's freaky as fuck.
Yeah. Like here, it's like, God, this just, I mean, talk about, I guess kind of just point out, the practical sense where this just was not, just visually, just did not work within its budget well. Like, It was that awkward middle ground of like trying to be a movie, a bigger movie, a movie beyond its budget and not working. Like, my DP always drilled in me, like, no white walls.
Right.
This is a perfect example of just white walls just being a blight on the eyes.
Yeah.
And I will say I thought the Lena Dunham like movie that put on our map, was it called Tiny Furniture? That's the movie I've seen that does white walls are used intentionally. Like, they have white walls and like how it's shot and like kind of the aesthetics overall. I don't know. It feels like it's used intentionally.
Right.
This just felt like, nope, I don't like looking at any of these images.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's even, I don't know, there's just a lot of things that I kind of spent. If you're spending the movie looking at what feels wrong, That's bad.
Right. If it was a better movie, I wouldn't even notice or care about the white walls.
You know, for example, and this is just, I mean, this is sort of, I guess, a continuity thing, but like, it's just a detail. The website that she goes to, right? And she sees all these row houses, like brownstone sort of row houses that are in
They were the
Brooklyn.
same house.
All the pictures had the
pictures.
same, they were the same picture, but they have listings of different addresses.
Yeah.
And
it was weird.
the one she clicks on is definitely not the house that they show at the titles or that they keep cutting back to. Now, here's what
That establishing
what I
shot.
think it is that those houses in the website are the house that they filmed in, because that house has the 3 windows sort of protrusion. I don't know what that's called, but like it's like the main bay windows that protrude from the house. And in the picture picture that they show on the website, those row houses have that. But
Which they're called like suicide windows.
right, it's I guess
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's what the website was referring,
Gotcha.
or like that's the context. I think they were on the website as like these are death apartments because of the windows.
Yeah.
Like kids
and that
can
makes
fall
sense.
out of them.
But the main image that they keep going back to that's showing the front door of the building that they live in is a flat facade, like tenement house. They're not the same. They're not even, that image is not even the same as the house that we are in that's that the movie is filmed inside of. Why? Like, why do that? Because somebody somewhere decided that that other those other apartment buildings looked cooler in the titles? Like, that's like what?
Yeah.
What is like just what? I don't understand why that kind of thing gets decided, or it's not an oversight. It's a extra decision. But then I'm sitting there going, I'm confused. What apartment are we in? Because this apartment architecturally has a very specific element that is not in the first image of the movie. The first image is of these flat facade apartment buildings. So where are we? And then I'm thinking about that. That's bad filmmaking. That's stupid to do. So don't do stuff like that. Like, why are you doing it? Now, I don't know, maybe you could find a justification if you add it in as an element of confusion purposefully, like it leads to something. Sure, be my guest. It doesn't. So what's the point?
Right. If it's a question that is put into the audience's mind, then it should also be a question put into the character's mind.
So like, it's stuff like that I'm just like, as well as like it being 65 minutes instead of, short or normal. Like, it's just like, what? Why? What are we doing? It's confusing. It's weird. I don't understand any of it. And then I'm like, my point is, then you're thinking about that as a viewer instead of actually trying to get into the story. And the story's not giving us enough to sort of be enticed. Like I said, the lack of that push-pull. It's like, if you're going to have... This is actually one of the things that really works about Rosemary's Baby, is that scene to scene with John Cassavetes, you are charmed and disgusted by him in the scenes constantly. You feel like, fuck, he's right. No, he's being a dick. Wait a minute. No, he's right. Like, shit, now I don't know what to think anymore. Is he being an asshole, or is Rosemary now actually unhinged? Like, you go through all of that. You don't get any of that with this, because June is just kind of a smarmy asshole from start to finish. Like, she's never charming. Not even a little bit.
Right.
And so she's never even really nice.
No, it's weird. She's being deceptively, like, quote unquote nice, of like, oh, come on, honey, you know that this is just this thing you do.
But even in that performance, she feels
no,
disconnected.
she's not. Yeah.
So here's actually what I think. This is kind of a, I would classify this under bad directing. Because I think what's happening is that the actor is doing a thing that often happens, which is inadvertently because the actor has read the script, they know the ending. And they're kind of subconsciously playing the end early in the movie because they know the end.
Right.
Now, a good actor needs to know not to do that. That's fine. But sometimes you just you get wrapped up in it and you forget.
Yeah.
Or it's subconscious,
Well, it's
right?
interesting because it's not
the director's job to be like, hang on, you don't know the ending. Don't play the ending.
Well, it's funny because you can have that doubt in your mind. Like, even it's like the experience of rewatching where Rosemary's Baby works. The fact that it works kind of illustrates what's different in that, like, I can know the twist in Rosemary's Baby, which is like what you're saying is telegraphed up front in Lyle, but there's something about the actual performance and their relationship in Rosemary's Baby where it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. It's like I'm identifying with Rosemary. I want him to be like an actual good husband because of how charming he is right now and like how they are together. Like I want that for them versus here. I just didn't care.
Also, once you know the end and you rewatch it, you should be seeing how that character is doing everything they can to not let on.
Yeah.
And the fun becomes, especially in Rosemary's Baby, the times that it cracks a little bit where Cassavetes like says or does something as a character that you go, oh shit, that's a tell. Mm-hmm. He just fucking stepped in it a little bit, and now we get to watch him. Since we now know the ending because we're watching it a second time, we get to watch him try to fucking, navigate around his own fuck up and be like, and then like gaslight her harder because he's like, no, wait, no, that's not what I meant, kind of stuff. Like that's compelling to watch. We get none of that from June.
Yeah,
none. She's just sort of like stoic, cold. Why make her cold? That's the thing that I don't understand either. Like, why make her so cold and distant? Like, make her compelling. Make it even more confounding that she would be doing this if we feel like Leah should be feeling like, you're great. Why are you being weird?
It was weird because I felt like it wasn't even like she was, that is where I would land on, but it felt more like I wasn't being given anything.
Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe I'm giving her too much, the character too much credit, not the actress. I'm not criticizing the actress.
Is there anything else you want to get off your chest about what did not work in an effort to keep this episode shorter than the film?
Impossible. No, I guess that's pretty well it. I mean, I just there's a lot you could have done. I think that ultimately where I landed after watching this was an incomplete attempt at a movie that could have actually had some really cool stuff in it. And we never get it. Like, we don't get the third act.
Yeah.
That kills me. So it just feels like a writing exercise. It didn't feel, it's like maybe a third draft kind of, it's not fleshed out yet. They have some good ideas. They never really explore those good ideas. They kind of go, actually, let's just wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, the assignment's over. Wherever you're at, put your pen down.
Yeah.
That's how, it felt like that to me. And I was like, oh shit. Like, I love the idea that, like, if Lyle was killed, or that there was, like, an actual crime, like, that it was set up, like, that Lyle was enticed to come to the window by one of these assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that if any of that was even remotely explored, that's fucked up. Let's go there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of weird how
it out, but we never get there.
Aside from the utter horrible grief-stricken place that the death of that first baby puts her in, it seemed to have very little consequence to the story. Like, I didn't even see why it needed to be not on screen, they didn't show it, but like in a movie event. Like, it felt it could have been like the pre-movie inciting incident. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't add. It was just funny how what's supposed to be the big thing just didn't actually add anything for me.
Yeah. Well, it makes me think of a movie that starts with the character sitting in their car after having come home from his wife's funeral. That's a fucking awesome starting point, because you get a lot of the story in that one fucking shot.
And you're paying attention because you're going, what are they so upset about?
Exactly. That, I mean, you could just start with the fucking, you know, the audio of her screaming and crying. You start the movie there, you go, oh shit, where are we? What's going on?
Yeah. Start it with those two shots that I liked.
That's what I'm saying. This could be a fucking really, really good short film. Condense some stuff, expand a couple little elements, but like do it in really efficient ways. And you've got a fucking killer 25-minute, or less, maybe. Well, it'd be tough. But you could do it in 22 minutes, I bet.
Hey, but why do that when you can have a couple of schmoes like us having to talk about it because it made it all the way to a feature film? It's streaming on Amazon Prime.
That's right.
Where you get articles written about it on Sci-Fi Wire.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go.
They wouldn't. All right, we'll move on then. Next section, things of note.
Things of note!
This should be interesting.
I mean, I just had kind of just a question raised where I heard this described as like, I think one person wrote in a review on Letterboxd, or there's tons of all on Amazon Prime where we watched it, like all great reviews except for one. But anyway, someone said is described mumblecore. Now I know what that is from an outside. I don't think I've actually seen a mumblecore film.
I don't think I have either, but I know of them.
Okay. Sorry, listeners. I wish we could be more an authority, because that was my question.
Well, they're
was
like the
is
Duplass brothers
mumblecore?
and I think Greta Gerwig maybe was a part of that.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
know.
Like, is this mumblecore?
I have no idea. I still don't really understand what mumblecore means. My understanding was that it was sort of to describe films that, like the Duplass brothers, I forget how you say it.
Duplass.
That they kind of had made a handful of movies that they're kind of just people sitting around talking, and that became a genre, a subgenre.
Yeah. Specifically low budget, I think kind of concentric around New York.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know what it is without, I don't know, but I mean...
I don't think I've ever watched any of them, but...
But if someone tells me, okay, well, what if we did a mumblecore take on Rosemary's Baby? Again, where I think, like, okay, there could be something in that, like, cool, but imagine using that same style to get us to buying into a reality that feels so real that then when kind of stuff hits the fan all of a sudden and we're in that last act of crazy Satan stuff, how much would be into it?
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. Well, I brought up the question. We can't really answer it. Anyway, that's all I was kind of wondering I had for things of note.
Yeah. Well, to sort of what you were saying about the good ratings, I was curious the reception as well, and like Rotten Tomatoes has a 34% audience score, which is not not good.
100% tomato meter.
Yeah, I don't even
score.
understand what is that. That means that people who are reviewers gave it a fresh.
Yeah, that means out of the 9, see it says total count 9 on Tomato Meter. That means it has 9 critic scores that were positive or deemed a fresh tomato versus a rotten tomato. And then, audience score, like 160 people just came online and rated it.
I mean, just look, this doesn't feel real. I hate to be like cynical or like...
Well, here you click on the C score details. You can see on the tomato meter for critics, you go all critics. there's 9, and then top critics, meaning someone like more, I don't know, quote unquote reputable source. There's only 1,
Right.
but it was still positive.
Right.
So,
well, I mean,
oh yeah, that's from Hollywood Reporter. Here, it's the very top critic review for
Gotcha.
Lyle, with a Sherry Linden, Hollywood Reporter top critic, with a gripping performance by Gaby Hoffman. The first feature by its writer director is a winningly unsettling genre exercise whose stylish and whose style and polish belie the constraints of its micro-budgeted 5-day shoot. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
There you go.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like you're just.
But it's kind of inspiring to think, Tim, like, who are we? We in this time that we spent talking about this movie, we could have hashed out a 5-day shoot for a Rosemary's Baby knockoff shot in quarantine, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
God, what are we doing, Tim?
I don't like that way of looking at the world.
Right.
I think it's weird and fucked up. So here, this is a little bit tangential, but like, what are reviewers doing? Listen to this. It's not entirely wrong, but just the way reviewers like to write, I find just baffling. This guy says, what could easily have spiraled into a campy marathon instead gains a remarkable semblance of engagement from its poker-faced resoluteness and a committed central performance from Gaby Hoffman. Now, that's true. I mean, that's like word salad to me.
For me, I mean, I get. But it's like
it's not untrue, but it's just
what I wanted was it spiraling into a campy marathon.
Right. Yeah. 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 I mean, regardless of if you agree with him, it's just, I don't know. He also gets a 2.5 out of 5 rating as a reviewer. That's not good, dude. You should get a better.
No.
Is that what that is?
No, that's what he gave this movie. That's not his review as a reviewer.
Well, then how is he making it fresh? That's a C.
Because you can only have fresh or not, and I don't know how the
yeah, I guess
I don't know how the
just
tomato
naively not knowing how tomato.
No, that's the thing. It's like we don't know, like, how is something. How do the tomato gods, decide if a exactly middle review is a positive or a negative one?
Gotcha,
like,
gotcha. Okay, well,
it's
whatever.
It's so reductive to be like it's either good or it's bad.
Right.
It's either rotten or it's fresh. Which is it? Which is it? Nicholas Bell of IonCinema.com.
Yeah, reviews, whatever. Okay, so I don't really have anything else of note.
Great. Well, then we can move on from Lyle and go end with our wind down RecommenDEADtions. If we've been consuming anything we thought that we've enjoyed or can recommend Ed.
This movie got me thinking about who the fuck Gaby Hoffman is. I'm like, I recognize her, but I don't remember from where. So I looked it up.
Uh-huh.
And she's in a bunch of stuff as an adult that I just haven't seen. So I was like, well, that's not it. But she was the daughter in Field of Dreams.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, yeah, she's the one who chokes on the hot dog.
I feel like that's a very Tim movie.
So that's what I'm going to recommend, Ed, because it is a very Tim movie. And as Gaby Hoffman as a child. And it's got ghosts, and it's got dad stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And baseball.
And baseball. It really, Field of Dreams, I cannot watch and not cry at the end.
I admit it's been quite a while for me.
So when he goes, Dad, you want to have a catch?
Oh! You're making me tear up just now, Tim.
Yep. So that's mine, Field of Dreams. Go watch it again. You've probably everybody's seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's a good movie.
Valid. Good. I've been having a bit of a bongathon watching.
Oh, yeah?
No, I do not own a bong, but I'm talking about the filmmaker, Bong Joon-ho. of Parasite fame.
Right.
I think I just was using this as an excuse to rewatch Parasite so soon. But I was watching through his movies. I skipped over Mother for thinking that we had it in our hat, but realizing no, I was thinking of Thirst, confusing Korean filmmakers.
You know, I haven't watched Mother. I've watched a really good video essay about the filmmaking of it, but I haven't watched the actual movie.
So yeah, I skipped over Mother, but there's so far. I mean, yeah, Okja and Snowpiercer, you know, I'd seen before, but his two earlier ones, between Memories of Murder and Barking Dogs Never Bite, his first one, I really liked Barking Dogs Never Bite, where it felt like it was really cool because it had its like low budget charm to it, but like, you know, bold filmmaking sensibilities coming through it. And the kind of stakes and the characters, it felt like almost like, I don't know, like low stakes or kind of confined world, but in a way that, you know, gets filmically heightened, where it was almost kind of, I don't know, I thought it was pretty refreshing in a way how it's at low stakes and at its core in a way.
Cool.
I liked it. I recommend that one.
I need to watch Parasite. I have not.
Oh my God, Dad.
I know. And I know it's on
Prime.
It's on Hulu right now.
Yeah, Hulu and Prime. That's why I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this again.
Yeah.
And
I just need to set some time aside where I can focus.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like put my phone away.
That means
and like sit and focus.
So much for me to hear, Tim, because like I hear, you know, tidbits from Tim, you, that like you'll watch movies and have your phone on and stuff. It just knowing you can get, you know, let yourself just give yourself the time to go to a world it's so important. It's what the films offer and do.
And like that, for me, it's like like movies like that, movies that are acclaimed and whatever, like I make a point to be like, okay, it's time to do it. Like, watch the movie for real. Don't be a dickhead about it.
Parasite, it's has the subtitles, so you kind of have to do that anyway. But I think you will really love just like all the kind of, not I want to say clues, but like all the little things in it that, you know, are adding up to something. All the details that are there intentionally and are cool. You'll love it. But wait, Barking Dogs Never Bite. That was the name, the one I recommended. Sweet. RecommenDEADed. All right, Tim. Next week's episode.
Am I pulling?
Last time we worked together was our new way of doing it.
Well, but it's my turn, right? Theoretically. That was your turn where you told me when to stop. So I'll tell myself I'll tell myself when to stop.
Got it.
Stop right now. And pull out this one. A Korean film.
Yeah.
It's called The Mimic by Jang Sun-bom.
All right. The
2017,
Mimic.
South Korea.
Cool.
The Mimic.
Not Mimic.
Not Mimic with Mira Sorvino?
No. Cool.
Who was in that? I don't even remember. Wasn't Mimic one of Del Toro's, like he had to do that like contractually to get some other movie done, and he like hated the experience? Wasn't that the
yes, his
late 90s, early 2000s Mimic?
I don't know the backstory of his involvement exactly, but yes, he directed Mimic. When a cockroach spread plague threatens to decimate the child population of New York City, that sounds great so far. Evolutionary biologist Susan Tyler and her research associates rig up a series of Judas bugs and introduce them into the environment where they will mimic the diseased roaches and infiltrate the grubby habitats. So far, so good until the bugs keep on evolving and learn to mimic their next prey, humans.
Oh, shit. I remember watching that. It's like the whole movie is in like a subway tunnel.
Yeah.
In my memory.
Right. What's that one where is it this one where I thought it was like in a museum or something for some of it? I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, sorry, we're getting caught up on Mimic.
Why are we talking about the shitty Mimic?
We're going to watch a hopefully non-shitty The Mimic.
That's right.
From 20 years after Mimic.
Yeah.
Mimic 97 to The Mimic 2017. Cool. Great. Well, that's funny. We're just talking about Korean movies and we're going to watch one. Good pull, Tim.
Hey, I do my best.
But I'm kind of glad we got Lyle out of the way, know, in a way. Rather just, we got to do it at some point. Do it now. Anyway.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. Our big ask is if you are still here and enjoyed it, please tell a friend. Word of mouth is the best way to get a podcast out there.
So they say.
Yep. So I say, so you say, so we say. So they say it's the best way to get ears on dismembering whore. Will you hear me, Ryan? And you'll hear that,
Tim.
And then we'll always talk about horror.
Wow, that's our new
in
theme
closing.
song.
Thank you, everyone. We do mean it in closing. Yes, thank you for listening.
And we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.